everyone. This is Cindy.
And this is Jose.
Hi, Jose. It's good to hear your voice again here on the LifeCraft podcast.
Hi,
Wh-
Sins, and welcome back. And welcome back to our audience. And I'm very excited for today's podcast.
Indeed, because today is such a special episode because we're going to have one of our life crafters as our podcast guest. She took,
Awesome.
yeah, right. And she took the course last February, and we are so looking forward to hearing how she's been doing since. Our guest for today on the LifeCraft podcast is none other than Divine Gil Reyes.
Hi,
Yay!
Divine.
Hi,
Hi
Divine.
Cindy. Hi, Jose. Thank you for having
Hello.
me. And hello
It's
to your
our
audience.
it's our honor and pleasure, Divine.
Indeed, Divine. So I'm going to go into letting everybody know a bit about Divine and before we ask her questions. So, Divine is an advertising and digital marketing professional who has created ads for top local and multinational companies such as Coca Cola, Jollibee, Yakult, Toyota, and Sun Life, to name a few. She is currently a partner at Perkcomm Inc., a creative communications agency. Divine is also a children's book author. In fact, she has won the National Children's Book Award 3 times. Okay, so that's
Wow.
amazing. As a co creator of the Halo Halo History series, their books A Long Time Ago, A Prehistory of the Philippines, and Kasaysayan, A History of Philippine Money, were named National Children's Book Award winners for best reads. No? So for a long time ago, that was in 2018. For Kasaysayan, that was in 2021. And Sino Bayani Jose Rizal, a Halo Halo special book, was a semi-finalist also in 2021. Divine won her third National Children's Book Award for the board book Pitong Chinelas, also in 2021. So she's just been at it. Now, the other advocacy of Divine is the Salute to a Clean Flag advocacy. It is a non political citizen initiative that aims to reignite patriotism through the abundant and proper display of the Philippine flag. And I'm a witness to how she really promotes this the past couple of years. And even I myself have taught my own daughter to honor the flag even more through this Salute to a Clean Flag. Her hobbies also include singing, and we've heard her sing before. I always hear her, since I've known her since we were in very young, and she's always been a singer. So I can vouch for that. So it's not just a hobby, I think. I think she can pursue it as a formal thing, as part of her career. She loves to read, watch movies, and some TV series. She's a happy wife, a mother of two amazing teens, and a parent of two little dogs. Divine is an incurable optimist who wants to make the world a better place for children. So today we are going to talk about her, and we're going to talk about multi-passionate optimism. Welcome again, Divine and Jose. The floor is yours to ask our first question
Right.
for
Yeah.
Divine.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Thanks, Sins. And we can't wait to Divine. I say we are in the divine presence of Divine.
Ooh.
And it's so great to hear your story that you and Cindy have been friends for such a long time. I won't say how long, but let's just
I
put
can
it
say it since
there.
seventh grade, right,
Oh my
Cindy?
Yes,
gosh.
in seventh
Wow, that's
grade. Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. And you've practically seen each other grow up, and it's great that you've kept in touch for this much time. So let's start, Divine, in terms of just getting to know you a little bit more. So can you tell us more about Perkcomm Inc., your organization, and the
Okay.
work that you do there, and what that work stands for?
All right. So, Perkcomm, as Cindy mentioned, is a creative communications agency. We specialize in advertising, social media content, and digital marketing. But we also create ideas like museum designs. We started in 2012, but the partners, the three of us, have over 2 decades of experience in the advertising industry. We are a lean and mean team, but we have a range of clients that we are very proud of. We've handled food and restaurant companies, automotive, insurance, logistics, and a whole lot more. And our goal is to be a positive force for our clients and for the community.
So
So it's not just
beautiful.
about business, but it's really
That's so
imparting
great.
values. Our communications are always positive. We never, like say anything bad about the competitors.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the kind of communications that we want to focus on.
Oh, that's
That's really
amazing.
great. Yeah, that's really great, Divine.
And they
Thank
really
you.
stick to it, so
Yeah,
I'd like to
yeah.
ask, since that I feel like those are the values that you keep in Perkcomm. How does this align with your other passion, which is writing children's books? How did you start, and what drives you to write?
Yeah, I realized that I've been telling short stories, 30-second ones, my entire career in advertising, but for brands, for different brands. Uh, I think the defining moments for me was when I was assigned as the writer for Jollibee, and I handled a lot of Jolly Kiddie meal ads, so directed to children, and we had a lot of materials that promote positive values. So I've been trained to say a lot with as little words as possible and with great impact. So I think that really helped with writing that our children's books. So there's always this perfect harmony between words and images. How did I really start on the children's books writing? I've always dreamed of writing children's books ever since I started collecting them, I think in high school and college, about the time my nieces were growing up. So, storytelling was our bonding session. And I just really, really love the simplicity of children's books. Akala mo, mababaw lang, pero ang lalim-lalim pala ng meaning, di ba? And in one sitting, you feel the impact of the story of the lesson. But you know, I've always put it off and making work an excuse. I think a lot of us do that, right? No,
Yeah,
lagging.
that's so
I'm
true.
busy.
Yeah.
But I was in awe of my industry colleagues who have actually done it. They've actually written books, and I can name them if say Ros Molina, Ray Santos, Budgetan, Kadjo Baldissimo. So bilib na bilib ako sa kanila for being able to write not just children's stories, no, but books, graphic novels, while being in the ad industry. So this Halo Halo Histories was actually a blessing. Um, it it sort of landed on my lap. Um, this is the brainchild of our friend Micheline Suarez. She's a mom like me. Her youngest son is about the same age as my daughters. So she was looking for materials on Philippine history for her son, and she couldn't find a local material that was very comprehensive as well as engaging. It's always like bits and pieces from this book, bits and pieces from this author, but not one single one that will make her child read with interest. So she said one day, "Why don't we make one?" And the three of us, whom she brought into the project, said, "Okay, you parang
Awesome.
let's do it for fun."
Yeah.
And it was really fun to do. We were researching, and I think we are an awesome mix of creators. No, so Micheline is a businesswoman, but she's always been into research, history, anthropology. Junie is a teacher. She's a music teacher, but she also teaches theater. Ben is also my business partner in Perkcomm, but he's the illustrator of the series. And our combination, when we brainstorm, it's really a riot, just laughing, and we have different points of view, which acts like a check and balance, no? So we're careful not to editorialize the materials, but just state the facts and help the children process or understand um, how that part of history is significant now, diba, in our current lives. So that was really, it started as a passion project, and we didn't really expect the reaction of the audience to our works. We weren't expecting the awards that came our way. And so we realized now this isn't just a passion project, it's an advocacy already. And we're using education to to help raise more informed Filipinos.
Right. Right.
Brilliant, Div. Really love how you've developed these books together. And my daughter loves it. Sophia loves it.
I know. Thank
She-
you so much for the
She's
feedback.
a big fan. And even I love reading it because as someone who's Jose and I are also teachers in university, and we've had that experience of reading materials and reading history, and I used to teach Rizal in that, and all of these things. It's so aligned with how well researched it is, and it's so much fun. It's funny, it's humorous, and I just love the works that you've done together with that whole team of yours. You are co-authors. Brilliant work, really.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
And
you.
Cindy, I'd like to
Brilliant.
thank you again for checking our draft for Rizal, because I knew you had a lot of experience teaching Rizal, and Cindy was one of our resource persons. I
Yeah.
asked her to check the draft, and I loved her reaction while she was reading it in front of me. Thank you.
I enjoyed it so much
Great.
because it was well researched. Like I really got into that a lot. So I saw how they weaved everything together. It's really something that I'm very happy to keep, like promote, because we really need to read about more about ourselves as a nation, and of course our heroes, and so much to learn from our children. I love it. It's like it's a legacy that you have already begun, Divine, leaving
Wow.
to our children. I love the work that you're doing. I'm
Thank you.
amazed by it, and I'm so inspired by you, really.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
inspiring, Divine. And you mentioned that this was a passion project, and you actually follow different passions. You do multi-passionate work. So how does it feel to be doing that, like following multi passions, and how are you able to pursue all of them in a way? How are you able to do it? Do you have a secret formula that you might want to share, if you have one?
Um, Multi-passionate, is that another term for ang dami ko lang gustong gawin?
Pwede din.
Exacto.
I just like trying things out, and others might criticize people like me as, I can't stick to one thing. Pero di naman
Yeah.
bawal yon, 'di ba? Na namang
Yeah.
Yeah.
rule na bawal yon, no? I mean, this is my definition of living my life to the fullest. And I respect people who find like just one thing and run away with it,
Right.
and that's really admirable too. And
Yeah.
I also thought about that, like what's the one thing that I can do, but there are a lot of things that I can do, so why can't I use all of them, diba?
That's true.
um what enables me to do it? I have a very supportive environment. I have a very number one with my husband, who's also creative, so he understands na, yeah, parang this is if you want to do that, go ahead. He doesn't stop me from pursuing my passions. And also my family has always been supportive. They've always affirmed my parents, lalo na, they've always affirmed what I can do. And that's to have people in your life who encourage you and empower you. Um, Magagawa mo talaga yung mga gusto mong gawin. So wala namang magagawa kung susubukan mo, 'di ba? And I guess I don't have a secret formula, but I have one of the best taglines in advertising pa rin, no, is just
Yeah.
do it,
Let's
'di
just
ba?
do it.
Yeah.
Just try it,
True. That's true.
'di
I
ba?
love, yeah,
And that's so
love that.
inspiring,
Yeah.
Divine. Because in LifeCraft, one of our lessons, as you know,
Right.
right, is that some people, kasi they get sort of overwhelmed by saying, "Oh, I have to make one life decision. What am I going to do?" If we're talking about career, what am I going to do with my career? I'll have to stick to one, right? And if I fail, so sometimes people don't want to explore, or they don't want to experiment, just because they're thinking, oh, I just have to do one. And what you're showing is, and what you're saying, and that's why it's so inspiring, is that you can do more than just one, and you can be successful in all of this. But then again, you also need that kind of mindset, of course, the discipline to be able to do it, and surrounding yourself with people who actually support you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
thank you. Thank you
yeah.
for affirming that. Kasi parang naisip ko, going back to Rizal, 'di ba? Siya nga, yon ang
Yeah. Oh my
multi-passionate
God.
Yeah,
and
yes.
excellent in everything that he did, 'di ba? We
Right.
need to encourage that in a lot of Filipinos. diba?
Indeed. Yeah. And since, you really have the values of LifeCraft already divine when you entered the course. And so, what I want to ask you is since you took the LifeCraft course, what changes did you see in your life and in how you live and design it, knowing that you are this multi passionate optimist already? How did LifeCraft add value to your life?
Oh my gosh, can I just say I love that course. Ilang days lang yon? How
Uh,
many days yon?
Three.
Three,
three.
okay.
Yeah.
3 days, but eye-opening and really, really energizing. I think energizing is the term I would use for my experience in that course. No? The tools, some of the tools that we used in the course, we've been using them in our field, and I shared this during our session
Yeah.
when we create communication plans and campaigns, diba? The insights, diba? Yung projections, ganyan. But I never thought that we could use that in our lives to design our future. So it was just very useful for aligning my multiple interests
Right.
into one big goal. So
Wow.
it's like um, parang na-visualize ko na yung mga parts ng buhay ko as little jigsaw pieces na biglang nag-click and created one big picture. So parang, it's just
Wow.
mind-blowing. And
Right.
I really, really loved my experience, and I recommend it to friends. No? So it just brought a lot of clarity and inspiration to use my positive creative energy into everything that I will want to do in the future.
Love that, Divine. Thank
Oh, thank you so
you.
much, Divine. But I
Ang
think,
ganda! Basta ang ganda-ganda ng pag-design niyo ng course. I really want everybody to take it. Especially now, pag marami namang time, yung mga tao, di ba, nasa bahay, wala naman lakad, just spend 3 weekends for LifeCraft. It will really change your life.
Wow, I
thank
love the
you.
plug, Divine, because
Thank you, Divine.
I mean, I know kaibigan ka namin, alam mo yan. Pero alam ko rin na ikaw yung type of person na fair ka lagi. So you would also tell me and Jose if there's something, no, that
Right.
you know, if you felt otherwise. So to me, I'm very happy to hear that, but also I love the encouragement you're giving everyone out there because Jose and I did create the course as a way for us to work through this season of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic and also the future, which is changing every day. And, as we say, the present is the future. And being here today and having you share all of this, it is a blessing. It is a blessing for us to hear that feedback. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. And Cindy was talking about the pandemic, no? And it can be, it is a very challenging time for many of us, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep your optimism alive in the midst of it all? Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how to keep my optimism? Parang, Cindy, you know me naman, ganito na ako noon
Yeah.
pa, no? I think I was born this way. I think I'm
Wow.
Yeah.
wired to
Yeah.
Right.
be optimistic. I don't know if other people find it toxic already, but well, this is how I cope. That's how they cope. Respeto na lang, diba?
Yeah.
I really try to see the good in everyone and everything. And maybe because, okay, I've been through a lot of low moments na rin in my life.
Right.
But I've overcome all of those. But I didn't do it alone. No? I had a lot of help. And of course, I had my faith. So being surrounded by optimistic people,
Mm-hmm.
continuing to pursue your passions, that's what keeps me occupied, and that's what helps me keep my optimism. And so that's why I view the pandemic as something that needs to be that we can overcome also. No? So by
Right.
faith, I know we can overcome this too,
Yeah.
with support of family, friends, mental wellness groups. It's really really important. No, marami kasing mga natatakot mag-open up, but
Mm.
we know naman that this
True.
pandemic is taking a toll on our mental health, diba? So find a support group. It could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be a group of strangers who are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's and
Wow.
also I realized also that my coping mechanism during the pandemic, naging webinar junkie ako.
I went through
Feeling,
that also.
di
Cool,
ba?
cool,
I'm
yeah,
still going through it.
I
Any
went through that and I
chance
said,
I
I
learn.
yeah,
yeah.
Pero finally,
yeah,
busy tayo with work, busy tayo with
yeah,
taking care of the household. But, parang I took this also as an opportunity to be able to catch up to my readings. Yung mga binili
yeah.
kong books from Big Bad Wolf 3 years ago, ngayon ko palang
Oh.
nababasa. Di ba, mga hino-hoard natin na book.
Yeah.
Yon. So I'm catching up to that. Tapos learning, really learning from people, learning from mentors, lalo na kung libre, di ba? Take advantage, sayang.
Yeah.
Gamitin natin tong moment na to recalibrate, di ba? To learn what we can, to make ourselves better.
Love
I
that
love
so
it.
much, Divine.
And I
Yeah.
love it because even though you might say you're born with it, right? You actually play an active role in making sure that you tend to that mental space and you take care of, that sort of mindset.
Yeah.
And thank you for those practical tips on how we can actually
You're
foster
welcome.
that in
Yeah.
ourselves.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And this also brings me to, my question for her is that, there are many, I'm sure, who are listening to us who can relate to your multi-passionate optimism. So if there's some advice that you'd like to share with everyone out there in living this kind of life, and you are authentically living this day by day, Divine, what advice would you give our listeners?
Actually, late bloomer na lang ako dito sa authentic life na to, no?
I will love
um,
that. We love
di,
that. We love
Yeah,
di
we
authentic.
love
ba?
it too.
We love
Yeah.
late bloomers. It's
Yeah.
a way of saying that it's never too late. It's
Yeah.
Kasi
never too.
I'm a very good follower. O
I can
parang,
relate to that,
di
Divine.
ba, all my life, I feel like I was just going with the flow, taking directions from people, from teachers. Hindi ako matanong noon. Unlike the students now, di ba? Kasi I think our generation, okay lang na hindi ka magtanong, just listen to the teacher, absorb, take the test, pass the test. Tapos, I didn't question, what was taught to me before. There were just instances when I did, but I wasn't brave enough to do it. So last week, I saw a video of Oprah, of, of Manay Oprah, who said, diba, it's important to know who you really are. So you figure out who you really are, what you want to be, not what the world expects you to be. Lalo na in the age of social media, when you curate your life online, it's so
Yeah.
hard to live an authentic life, diba? So it's sometimes incongruent yung nilalagay mo sa social media versus what you're really experiencing in real life. So just figure that out. If you have to tune out of social media muna, do it. Just figure out who you are, who you want to be. Um, and when you find out what that who that person is. Don't be afraid to show your light.
Oh, love that.
Diba? So, takot ako nun eh. Parang I know naman that I had abilities. But why am I afraid to write a song about my life? Why am I afraid to write a book that reflects about my experiences? Kasi gusto ko lagi yung parang yung kunyari, tungkol lang sa brands, hindi ako introspective before. Ngayon na lang to. Lately na lang to. But it's always parang, is it okay for them to take a peek into what I'm feeling? I was very, very, wary of that. Parang, so ngayon na lang to, I'm a late bloomer. But nowadays, diba, there's so much darkness, and we really, really need to bring out our lights. No, be the light for someone. Be the one to encourage instead of putting down. Be the one to unify instead of divide. And lastly, maybe this is what I'm living now. No, it's never stop learning. You always take every opportunity you get to learn from the people around you. Like now, we're stuck at home. I'm learning so much about my daughters, about my husband, about our kasambahay. Kasi wala na ako nakikita ibang tao. Diba?
Right.
And learn. There's a lot of resources already available online. Diba? We have a lot of books. We have a lot of webinars. We have LifeCraft.
Yeah.
plug,
Yeah.
plug.
Right.
We
Thank
have
you.
halo-halo histories. Now is the time to really reset, to really recalibrate education, diba? Recalibrate ourselves. Yun lang. Never stop learning.
Awesome.
Amazing, Divine. Yeah, seeing how you've really weaved life through the years, experimenting, giving it a shot, and even now saying you're a late bloomer, like Jose was saying, we love that because it is never too late to design your life the way you want to live your life. And if something doesn't work out, we want to tell everybody out there, because you've been so successful, Divine, but I'm sure there were other projects that you were looking at that, you tried, and then, oops, that didn't work. Let me try this other one. So just because they're all hearing how, yeah, there's so much success behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that you did, and that's something beautiful that you shared today. How, there are times when we may question that within ourselves, but if we put ourselves out there and we give it a shot, why not? Let's see what they feel. Maybe you'll find an audience for it. And if you don't, it's still okay to be who you are completely and bring that light out. Such an inspiration you are today, Divine, hearing this. Jose?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely an inspiration. I could feel your passion really, and really your
Yes.
light is shining as well. Your divine
Oh,
light,
thank you.
divine.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're,
for sharing that light to us and to our listeners, and I
yes.
hope that they find their own purpose, as you said. That's very important, and finding that light within themselves, because we need that light. Every one of us, all those lights combined, will get us through this with our faith, as you said. Will get us through this dark time.
Indeed, Jose. So, Divine, how can people reach you? Like those who are interested in, learning more about Halo Halo histories. You have that Halo Halo below. Can you share more about that?
All right. Okay. So our Halo Histories books are published by Tahanan Books. Okay, and they also carry the other book that I wrote, Pitong Chinelas. Please follow our Instagram and Facebook pages of Halo Halo Histories and Tahanan Books. We also have a Halo Halo Bilo, which is a meet and greet with the authors. So we've been invited, and that's one other blessing, no, sa pandemic. We've been invited by museums and by schools to hold talks to audiences of different ages. Sometimes we talk to kids, sometimes we talk to the parents, and it's just fun learning from each other. And our sessions are really fun. We try to make it as fun as possible. So we can organize that for your school or for your book club or for your organization. Just send us a message through our Halo Halo Histories Instagram or Facebook page, or send an email to our publisher, hello@tahananbooks.com. And also for your listeners who need our advertising or digital marketing services,
Yes.
please check out our perkcomm.com. That's perkcomm.com. That's our website, and we also have a Facebook page there.
Thank you so much, Divine, for joining us to say today. And there's this saying that I wanted to share earlier with you and Jose, sharing how, it is in the darkness when the stars shine the brightest. Thanks for being our star today. And for everyone listening, don't forget to also follow us on IG at my_lifecraft, my_lifecraft, and please like our Facebook page, My LifeCraft. You can also email us for, people you want to feature, or if you want to be featured on LifeCraft. If you have any questions, just email us at mylifecraft.org@gmail.com. Jose, Divine, thank you so much for today. Any final words, Jose and Divine, for our listeners?
I just want to thank Divine for being who she is and for inspiring us and for sharing the light. Please keep on doing and being an optimist and following your passions moving forward. And I wish the same to our audiences.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Cindy and Jose, for having me. I really appreciate this. And thank you also for supporting our Perkcomm and Halo Halo Histories and Pitong Chinelas. Um, and it's no accident that we met and that I took the LifeCraft course. And I think we will be able to work on something together in the future. Let's do
Yes.
it. Just do it.
Just do it. Thank you, everybody. And thanks to our amazing audience for listening. Thank you, Divine and Jose. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.